Hello, hello. I'm Margot, or MD Archer, as you may know me, and welcome to my very first fact versus fiction episode. So today I'm going to draw a few examples from the first book in the series, Squirrel Swan, Precious Things, and I'm just going to basically set out a scenario and ask you whether you think it was based in reality or whether I completely made it up. So the very first one, so basically I think I'm going to focus on this one is Sophie and her dating entanglement for book one, which is with Declan. So those of you who have read the book will know what I'm referring to. Sophie does do a fair amount of dating throughout the series. She's got a bit of a roller coaster of her love life, and so there's a lot of entertaining fodder in that, and I'll use that as the basis for today's session. So the very first one is when she has her first overnight date with her current beau, a guy called Declan, who is a little bit useless or a little bit of a moocher. And he ends up staying the night and then he doesn't leave. And so the first one is because she's sort of so stressed about the situation, she's like, oh God, who is this guy? Why have I invited him over? Like, is this who I want to be with? She ends up, and they have pizza for dinner, and she ends up sleep farting all night and has a terrible sleep and goes into work the next day just absolutely exhausted. So do you think that is a completely made up story, or do you think it is based in reality? That is a true story. So, and actually you might not believe me, but it is my friend's story. She gave me permission to use it. She told me the story. I thought it was so funny that I had to use it. She said, yes, I could. And she knows I'm telling you this now. In fact, she's probably watching. So hi and thank you. But yeah, so that really happened to her. And therefore it happened to Sophie. So it was based in reality, just not mine. So the second Declan story is so he stays there, he doesn't leave, and he then ends up using all the food in the fridge, which isn't Sophie's, it belongs to her flatmates, and therefore she's in the situation where she has to replace all this expensive food that her flatmate bought. Do you think that's fact or fiction? That one is fiction. That does not happen. That is something I just made up. I thought it would be funny. And relatedly, do you think that the situation with Declan staying overnight and then not leaving in the morning or for a few days afterwards, do you think that is based in fact or fiction? That is fiction. I wouldn't let someone get away with that. I would be tell him to get out in no uncertain terms, which is where, that's the pageness in me. So if you're interested, both Paige and Sophie are parts of my personality. I do have Paige's sometimes blunt, can be slightly bossy, a little bit tactless occasionally, but I also have Sophie's anxiety. So I do have both of them. But in that situation, I would be doing a Paige. I wouldn't be acting like Sophie. And then finally, Declan talks about his amazing new opportunity. And he doesn't have a job, but he's got this new opportunity, which is essentially a pyramid scheme selling vitamins. And so Sophie hears him explain this and tries to sort of point out gently that that's a pyramid scheme. And he's like, no, that's not true. And she's like, oh God, who is this guy? Do you think that is fiction or fact? That one was drawn from my real life. I did date a guy. We had that conversation. We had a conversation very much like that one when he tried to tell me about this amazing opportunity, and I thought, oh my God, he's got himself into a pyramid scheme. And he did. He bought all these vitamins, and then we broke up, and then months later he emailed me to ask me if I wanted to buy vitamins. So it was pretty funny. So yes, those are the fact versus fiction for book one. You probably maybe guessed them, I'm not sure. I will add just another couple of nuggets. My first car that I bought was a VW Jetta, which, as you might know, Sophie drives one of those, and she loves it, and I loved my one too, even though it handled like a bus. I did love it, and it wasn't very pretty to look at. It was this grey clunky thing, but I loved it. And all the eating and drinking establishments that I mentioned in the books are all I think without exception, real. And there are usually places that I go to quite a lot. So I talk about kung fu noodles, I talk about barilla dumplings, I talk about gale braiths, I talk about various bars that they go to meet people and catch up, and they're all real, and they're all ones I either have been to or go to regularly, because I live, and and yeah, all the places I mention are usually real. I don't think I've made up any of them, even the parks and things. So yeah, you can probably Google all of them. Yeah, so that's the first one. I'll do one per book, I think, or depending on how much fodder there is. And if you have any particular questions, if you read something and go, I wonder if that was like inspired by true events or made up, you can email me and ask me, and I will do a fact versus fiction for that one. Okay, till next time. Bye.